This year, we celebrate 20 amazing years.
And we want to say thank you.
Because of you, we've become innovative, creative, and committed to providing the best customer service in the Bahamas.
Because of you,
we have given back to our community.
We are proud to serve our Bahamas with cable television, the nation's fastest broadband internet, and reliable phone service.
And that's all because of you.
Thank you for inspiring us,
motivating us,
and believing in us.
Thank you.
For 20 years!
A local high school student stabbed and killed, reportedly by another student. The Prime Minister says he won't fight anyone over national health insurance. Parliamentarians want a police investigation into allegations of bribery. Plus, the Deputy Prime Minister talks energy reform. We've got those stories and a lot more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and MB12 starts right now. News tonight, a local high school student was stabbed and killed this afternoon, reportedly by another student. According to police, the country's latest murder started out as a fight. Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean told reporters the incident took place near Blanco Beach at the intersection of Prince Charles Drive and Fox Hill Road, and the victim succumbed to his injuries at the hospital.
What we are learning that shortly after 2 p.m. today, two male students were involved in a fight in the area of Blanco Beach on Prince Charles Drive, resulting in one being stabbed several times. The victim was transported to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries.
Dean confirmed the victim was a student at Doris Johnson Senior High School on Prince Charles Drive. And as for who stabbed the student, Dean said no one is in custody just yet, but 1 or 2 students have been classified as persons of interest.
We have a student who was a person of interest to us, maybe 1 or 2 students. And so we will be following those leads as that might direct us, but we want to reassure persons that this does not happen on the school premises. This happened outside the confines of the school.
A video purporting to show the incident has been circulating on social media. It shows a young man in a school uniform and wearing a backpack, wielding what appears to be a kitchen knife and stabbing another young man in uniform and sporting brass knuckles. Another student in the video also appears to be holding a knife. In the graphic clip, which has been making its rounds via cell phone and on the internet, other students scream in terror and swarm around the incident before the victim runs away holding his side. In a statement, the Ministry of Education said the stabbing incident involves students from Doris Johnson Senior High School after school was dismissed early due to exams. The ministry said a 12th grade male student was stabbed by another male student who was believed to be in the 11th grade for reasons unknown to school and ministry officials at this time. The ministry said the 12th grader was transported to hospital by ambulance, accompanied by his mother. In another statement released just minutes after the first, the ministry said, while our schools have adopted a zero tolerance for violence on campuses, we wish to remind our students that violence off campuses will not be condoned either. Today's event is most unfortunate as the life of another young man has been taken. We must encourage our young people to resolve their conflicts in a more peaceful manner. Dean said police are following significant leads and are hopeful the matter will be wrapped up with someone in custody shortly. He also appealed to the nation's young men that when it comes to conflicts, the way of the knife or gun is not the way to resolve it.
We constantly use these opportunities to talk to our young men in particular, that when it comes to conflicts, when it comes to dispute, the way of the knife or the way of the gun is not the way to resolve it. The police will continue to be vigilant, and we want to applaud school officials and everybody who constantly diffuse these incidents from happening. So we should be having someone in custody for this very shortly.
The ministry said it is deeply saddened by the tragic event and extended heartfelt condolences to the family of the victim and the entire Doris Johnson school community. Dean added, as school policing is still in effect, all schools are virtually safe on the premises, and he reiterated the incident did not occur on school property.
All the schools, all the high schools have an officer assigned on the premises. But we can say that this incident did not happen on the premises, but all schools
After a report released by the Department of Statistics last week entitled Market Information Newsletter highlighted the underachievement of young men in the Bahamas, psychiatrist Dr. David Allen said the recent statistics reflect an inequality in Bahamian society. He said the country is facing a holocaust of young black males. Simone Davis reports.
The Market Information Newsletter revealed new figures that underscore an increasing deterioration of males in the Bahamian society. The report noted that 556 students graduated from the College of the Bahamas in 2015, and of that group, 409 were females and only 147 were males. And of the 220 students who graduated from the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute, 130 were females and only 81 were males.
The report also alerted that more females sat the BGCSE and BJC exams and scored higher than the males. Dr. Allen said while it's commendable that women are succeeding in the Bahamas, it is scary that the males are being left behind in almost every aspect.
So on one hand, I don't bemoan the fact that our women are doing well in education. I'm happy about that. What I bemoan the fact is it seems that the young male is getting left behind. We need to expedite programs to help him catch up. Because when they come to the teenage family and they're 14 and they can't read and write, they feel very ashamed. And so what they do is they can create a ruckus by what? Creating some physical situation.
The report revealed that the same pattern is shown in the workplace. Dr. Allen asserted that not enough attention is placed on these troubling trends, which have long been witnessed, and the country is in denial that the Bahamas is facing a holocaust of young black males who are either dead or in jail.
I am just amazed how many young men are just dying biologically and socially. They get killed. They're just gone. They tell me they don't expect to live long. He said, Dr. Allen, we don't expect to live long. One kid was killed, and I said, well, don't you feel sad? He said, no, Doc, because he wasn't with his boys. That's his mistake. You never go out without your boys. Then they go to the schools, they have to go home. So they have to carry knives, not because they're bad, because in going home, they go across different turfs of gangs. It's very scary.
He said since the average age of a murderer is usually between 15 and 24, the challenge now is to provide some kind of structure, particularly for young males. He added that they tend to only feel important or protected if they are affiliated with gangs and only feel powerful if they are carrying a concealed weapon.
What would happen is simply, without the intellectual development, they have great physical development. And the gangs will recruit them to sell drugs, to deal with guns, and to deal with kind of destructive behavior.
Allen also noted that observing the actions of young men in New Providence has led him to coin the term living dead, because he believes there are more men alive but dead on the inside than those who are actually dead.
That's something I've just come up with, but I've examined the eyes. Look at the eyes of kids or young girls who are making it. The eyes are bright, interesting, exciting. The eyes of these young boys, I call them dead eyes. They look at you. There's hardly a movement of the eye. You just want to cry. And so I coined the term that, there are more living dead people in NASA right now than dead people.
Allen said far too often he witnesses a desperate plea for help from at-risk youth and sees a great need for a residential facility to house and care for them. Allen's organization, the Family Group, has a program for children and teens and currently has 150 young boys. He said the aim is to help them see their worth and not stray to join a gang, go to jail, or end up dead. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
As public debate continues over national health insurance, Prime Minister Perry Christie told reporters today that he will not fight anyone over it. There have been numerous stakeholders calling for more clarification about the scheme and some calling for the implementation to be pushed back. Today, the Prime Minister addressed several issues surrounding NHI and explained why government will move full steam ahead for a January 1st implementation. Kyle Joaquin has the details.
Do they believe that the government would take action to plunge the Bahamas economy to a level of jeopardy when every effort we're making is to ensure that the economy succeeds and goes to another level?
That's Prime Minister Perry Christie responding to critics calling for the government's national health insurance scheme to be pushed back amid growing uncertainty on numerous fronts. While answering a round of questions from reporters today, Christie said the government won't place the country's economy in jeopardy. He also spoke of a possible timeline, saying a full NHI rollout could actually take longer than expected.
It took South Africa 10 years to roll out their universal health care. It took America a couple of years. It may take us a longer period than people expect. But we will begin on January 1st.
One of the government's own, State Minister for Legal Affairs Damian Gomez, had said that he knows very little about NHI despite sitting at the cabinet table. Christie said very soon people will find out more about the scheme. A website managed by the government's Costa Rican consultant Sanagest International has laid out the answers to several questions. According to www.health242.com, registrants will be able to choose their own doctor. One of the government's own, State Minister for Legal Affairs Damian Gomez, had said that he knows very little about NHI despite sitting at the cabinet table. Christie said very soon people will find out more about the scheme. A website managed by the government's Costa Rican consultant Sanagest International has laid out the answers to several questions. According to www.health242.com,
at the end of the day, the government will make a determination based on what is submitted to it. At the end of the day, the government will take responsibility for what we offer the Bahamian public. Right now, Sanagest, I think, is doing an excellent job in advising us. We change, we listen, we argue, at the end of the day, all Sanagest is what PricewaterhouseCoopers. They are consultants.
And because there has still been no definitive answer as to exactly how much NHI will cost, the Prime Minister also gave an update on that.
We should have that shortly. PricewaterhouseCoopers is doing a special exercise now. But
Christie said the first portion of NHI to be rolled out will be primary care, and that the reason why the Bahamian people aren't being asked to pay upon rollout is so people can have an opportunity to see just what it is they're being asked to pay for first. According to the Prime Minister, NHI is only a small component of what the government is committing itself to. He said the scheme is comprehensive and calculated, and that they're now going through plans to remediate hospitals. And as for potential job losses as a result of NHI,
no,
that's what the BIA says.
As
much as 1,000 people
why
might be affected.
You listen to all that, what they're saying, right? So let's wait and see.
The Bahamas Insurance Association, the Medical Association of the Bahamas, and PricewaterhouseCoopers have recently raised concerns about NHI. In a report completed in May, PwC said the implementation of NHI, as is currently being proposed, has the potential to destabilize both the public and private healthcare systems. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Central Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Nico Grant asked on the floor of the House of Assembly today that a police investigation be launched into what he said seems to be bribery. He was referring to statements made by Stellar Waste to Energy CEO Dr. Fabrizio Zanabani in the November 26 edition of the Nassau Guardian, where he said he was asked for very small contributions from PLP and F&M MPs. Grant said he has never spoken to Zanabani and that he found it highly offensive.
I, Nico Carlson Grant, the first Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, a member of this Honorable House for 23 consecutive years, the longest-serving F&M member of Parliament in the party's history, do not know Dr. Fabiano Zanaboni, nor have I ever spoken to him in my life. I have never communicated in any way with him, so it is impossible for me to have requested a very small contribution from him.
Grant was supported by all parliamentarians present in the House and asking that Zanaboni be made to identify which MPs asked him for the contributions. Prime Minister Perry Christie said he believes the matter should be dealt with immediately.
In the circumstances, it's a matter before the chair or the speaker. And it's a matter that I think the speaker should take under advisement and review with a view to making a determination as to how this matter should be dealt with in all of the circumstances.
United Democratic Party leader Greg Moss agreed that in order to clear everyone's name, the situation should be investigated.
And so I also want to echo the sentiments that have been stated. We should not have anyone besmirching the character of our House and of our honorable members, and also to the extent, if at all, that any members participated in accepting what would be tantamount to bribes, those should be disclosed and those should be dealt with quickly.
You're watching the best in Bahamian news. There's more when MB12 returns.